So I left my hotel, going back to the train station. The buses run about once every half hour. I don't know how close the nearest bus is, and it takes about 20 minutes to get there. So I might just keep walking, especially because it's cold out. And right now I am 90 minutes early for my train. So here I am coming into Mount Vernon over I-5. Still more than an hour early, but it's less anxiety to wait in the train station than to wait in my hotel room. So minor correction for Amtrak travelers. This station, which is both the Transit Center station and the Amtrak station and the Greyhound station, is not staffed by Amtrak. There is no Amtrak ticket office or anything there. There is the Skagit Transit office. There's a reader board that does not include train times. So this is basically a train platform attached to a transit station, transit center. And actually my ticket disappeared off the app, which sometimes has been happening with the Amtrak app. And so I do have like a receipt, but I was going to go in there and print out a ticket. Cannot do that today. I'm sure everything will work out fine though. So I have not seen any schedules for this, but among the many forms of public transportation in this area, we also have a tribal bus from the Stillaguamish, and I don't actually know where that's located. So there is quite a nexus of transportation here at the Mount Vernon Skagit Transit Center. The one I'm concerned though is the Amtrak Cascades, which should be here in 30 minutes. So according to the app, the train is 13 minutes late, meaning there will be 4 or 5 minutes to wait unless it's delayed further. And that's not too much. That time that can be made up as we see it now. Also, there's a pretty good crowd here for Wednesday morning in Mount Vernon. And I hear now, I see that train coming in. There's the Amtrak Cascades. This one's going as far as Portland. And I'm going to put down my camera because I'm jumping on that train.
No, that was him. Oh, right. Well, sorry, I just didn't read it. No.
This is Stanwood, and we are in Snohomish County. We've left Skagit County, I believe. And so, next stop, I believe, is Everett.
Yeah, and it has
This is the Snohomish River, or part of its delta, and so this kind of separates what will be the Seattle area from north of Seattle area. Once we get to Everett, southward, there will be solid cities and buildings until Tacoma and almost to Olympia.
And then page 32 is what ours are. And so it'll have Talgo tilt speeds, this is the tilt speed we put in because of rising. So we follow those ones. We have to follow those ones. And that's all I wanted to highlight in that summary. The general order summaries are really good to go to. Where the actual Amtrak rules.
Little Everett.
Never on.
I did too, not this one. 45 years. Okay.
So we're passing through the Everett dock facilities, the port facilities, and pretty soon we'll be into seeing some of the wild or natural shoreline, and it's a very nice sight. And on the other side of the Puget Sound, that long line of land, is Whidbey Island, which is an island, but unlike the San Juans, that is a bridged island. You can drive there, and I have never been there. So here we have an actual sandy beach. A lot of the Puget Sound is rocky beaches, but this is sand. And there is another Washington State ferry and a terminal. I couldn't tell you exactly where that goes, and presumably that is the Washington State ferry. There are other ferries in Puget Sound that aren't, but I think that's a Washington State ferry. So that's Whidbey Island, the south end of Whidbey Island, and then the land further in the distance is the Kitsap Peninsula, which is itself a peninsula of the Olympic Peninsula. The landscape here is very fractal, and there's a lot of places here where, you know, you might be 5 miles away and you might have to drive 100 miles to get there.
For those of you connecting to the Edmonton ferry, after stepping off the train, and gathering all your personal bags, take a left-hand turn, go towards the rear of the train to get used to the pedestrian crossing, and get over to the ferry platform.
Try to make sure I do that just so I can
Alright folks, Edmonds, Washington coming up next. Also folks, a little sightseeing for you. Right before we get to Edmonds, you'll see a lot of movies floating out there. Underwater dive bar with lots of sunken ships. And for economic sea divers, where we go explore that underwater paradise on the beach. So keep your eyes out. Right folks, Edmonds coming up next.
I love that story a few years ago.
So there's another ferry, and this one does go across to the Kitsap Peninsula, and that's a lot easier of a connection to make, because from the train you can directly exit and walk to the ferry terminal, as opposed to Mount Vernon, where, you know, you have to take 2 buses and it takes some time to get to the San Juans. So here it's very good integration between the train and the boat. So those routes are delayed. The Amtrak Cascades is, as far as I know, more or less on time. Amtrak personnel only behind this point. Well, then I will not go there. So this is King Street Station. I was here a whole 5 days ago, Saturday, and Seattle's appropriately gloomy today, and I'd like to see more of Seattle, but I am kind of tired from traveling. So basically just stretching my legs, coming out to see what's going on. If you want to, we can peek for a minute inside of King Street Station. Really nice place. And after that, that was my jump off, and I'm just going to jump back on. I have a way to go today. There's the Sounder train going by us. We're in Tukwila, and I'm eating this breakfast burrito. They were out of grilled cheese sandwiches, but this is a maybe a better choice. And salsa is free.
would be very busy, but if it did go all the way through, it would be busy for sure. We have the trains that all the way through Everett.
So this is the Nisqually River,
Anyways, guys,
and
walking out.
this is kind of what separates, I guess, the Tacoma area from the Olympia area. And so we're out of kind of the main Puget Sound area. We will be popping back into Olympia, but after this, the train is kind of going through more rural areas, really until we get to the Portland area. Last time I was on the wrong side of the train, so this gives a better view of the station and downtown. As you can see, the downtown area is right next to the station. So this is one of the train stops where you could get off and get yourself some coffee or a beer or some ice cream if you so desired. And this is also just a really quick stop. There will probably be only a few people getting off and on. Centralia also kind of is the division between closer to Seattle and closer to Portland. So after passing this, we are in the Portland area. It's about 75 miles to Portland from here, I think. This is Kelso Longview. I have been through here many times. You know, I grew up in Clark County, so visiting through Kelso and Longview was normal. Haven't really spent much time here. And there is only one more stop between here and Portland. So right now I'm crossing the Columbia River back into Oregon. There's the interstate bridge over there. And the final stop of the train journey is in about, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. And then I wait for my bus. Maybe do some other stuff meanwhile. So that was just Hayden Island, and this is the other channel of the Columbia River. So even this lesser channel is pretty wide. This is the Columbia Slough. So you have the main channel of the Columbia, you have the southern channel of the Columbia, then you have the slough, then you have a water treatment plant. So this is the area of Portland that's a bit more industrial, and a lot of services and facilities like this are located in this area. And after just crossing that, this is the Willamette, and you can see downtown Portland on the horizon. And this is where the Amtrak Cascades and the Coast Starlight, for that matter, pass through Northwest Industrial District in Portland. I'm pretty much including this just because I like to make the point that Portland does have industries other than vegan cupcakes, and this is evidence of that. And I might be incorrect about this, but this very long building here may be the Greenbrier building. The company might be called something else now, but Greenbrier, that manufactures rolling stock. So I believe that's what that is, but I could be wrong. Actually, no, that was Gunderson Marine, which may actually be a subsidiary of the rolling stock manufacturing company. I'll have to look that up. So I just got off of the train in... Sorry to check one thing. Hi, Pigeon. I have a continuation. I just wanted to check the leaderboard and make sure it was the time that I thought it was, which is 2 hours from now. So on that trip down, I was kind of tired, you know, because I've been traveling for a while, but I still tried to capture some stuff. And I did take a lot of footage of like the small towns and stuff. And one of the reasons I did that is a lot of times the Amtrak Cascades is seen as the Seattle to Portland train. But a lot of the customer base and a lot of the political support for that train is because it stops in places like Stanwood and Kelso. So I wanted to show those places too. And, you know, this is Portland, seen it before. Anyway, so actually pause because I'm going to go do something for another video. And in 2 hours, I will be getting on a bus here at Union Station to go south. So I am back at Union Station. I went over to the Burnside Skate Park and then walked back across the Burnside Bridge. And currently, I have 45 minutes, which I'm hungry, but that's might be time enough to get food, but not enough time to enjoy it. So I'm just gonna walk around and then get on my bus at 5 o'clock. So after all the traveling I should do, this 2 hours on an Amtrak bus between here and Albany probably be pretty anticlimactic, and I don't know if I'll record much on that.
Our next stop is Woodburn.
There's the bus leaving, just as we are pulling in. So I have an hour wait here. It's 7:10 right now. Yeah, I've talked about that schedule before, where that bus pulls out the same time this bus is pulling in. I've talked about that before. But really, I have no reason to complain. I'm gonna go get a milkshake, walk around town. So on this trip, this was a really long trip, and like I said, I think in the video up, you know, this is not a long distance train, but when you get up and you leave Mount Vernon at 9 a.m. and you get to Albany at 7 p.m. That's a pretty long day. That was 10 hours, right? And it'll be probably 12 hours till I get home. And I don't know how long this video will be when I edit it down. And a lot of it is silent footage. And the reason I did that is, like, obviously some people just want the highlights, but there are people who are, you know, really interested in taking this trip or have maybe an academic interest. Maybe 50 years from now, like, you know, people will really want to know what Stanwood looks like and what Tualatin looked like. And hey, people 50 years from now, you're welcome. So I included a lot of it. But also for me, like, there is this aspect of Highway 61 revisited. You know, this is connecting where I was born that I don't remember, Seattle area where I did spend some time growing up, Portland area where I spent a lot of time, and then this area where I live now. So it's kind of was also a trip through my life, even though all that looked like was blurry footage. Anyway, so let's like end this here, I guess. That was Albany. That was my journey. I hope it was of some interest to some people, even if not every part was interesting to everybody. Oh wait, no, I was ending here. Okay, well, I might also end in Corvallis, but for now, this is where we are. And also, verbal comment if you see this video. Well, this is Corvallis, and I am home. It's about 9 o'clock at night. I left my hotel in Mount Vernon at 7:30. It was light then, it's still light now. So one of the few times in the year that I can make this trip all in the daylight. And I'm tired, I'm going home now.